So let's talk a little bit about the challenges of pension education. So throughout the years that I've been doing financial education, and I work with employees and helping them to deal with their finances, I ask them about their pensions and this type of thing, and they say they've been to a pension session or they've participated in something online, or they've gone through their pension statements, but many times they tell me they don't get it. They don't understand what the person is talking about. And they say, the person starts talking and I lose them. And I liken it to sitting in Charlie Brown's classroom where his teacher is sitting there talking to everyone, giving a great lesson, but what are all the students hearing? What are all your members hearing? They're hearing wah, 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 wah. Okay? So how do we overcome that? A big part of it, I think, is changing our perspective on doing pension education. Here's how many people, many of the employees in some of these pension sessions I've actually sat in on. I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying that this is what the feedback I get, is that the perspective of the company or the pension plan in doing pension education believes is everything's about the pension. We provide this fantastic benefit that's going to help these people in the future, going to make their lives better, and we look at it and the whole thought and the whole process is around the pension. Well, of course, retirement is a component of that, right? So you guys talk, I hope, a little bit about retirement and, preparing for retirement. You likely talk about old age security and Canada Pension Plan and those types of issues. But when it comes down to the employee's finances, that's not really your department. In contrast to that, the people who are sitting in that room, even the people who are 55 plus, even the people who are a year away from retiring, have a completely different perspective. They're thinking finances. That's what they're thinking about. Okay? Their mind is just absolutely consumed about all the different day-to-day aspects of their finances. So much so that 2/3 of them are telling us that they're not in control of their finances. 60% of people say that personal finance is their number one stress. Okay? Now, retirement is a factor. They're thinking about retirement, and it's a larger factor than a lot of people might think. But when it comes down to the pension's really just a small aspect of it. It's not a big concern for these people. So we need to start talking to the employees more about addressing these issues that they're dealing with. So what are they dealing with? Principally, we know 2/3 aren't in control of their money, so a lot of them are sitting there going, oh my God, how do I get to the end of the month? Let alone deal with my pension. And oh yeah, I got to make sure I get my debts paid, and oh geez, they just keep going up. I can't seem to get ahead, right? And then it's the mortgage. Oh, I got to make sure I get my mortgage payment in. I can't afford to lose the house, and oh geez, and then there's the kids' education. And I got to deal with make sure I've got some money set aside. Well, maybe I can't do that. So guess what? Maybe they're going to have to help out and do some work and set aside some of their own money to help pay for that education. What about living in life insurance? I got to make sure the family's protected in case something happens to me. And then, oh geez, yeah, well that reminds me, I got to get the wills done. I haven't done my wills. As a matter of fact, more than 60% of people don't have wills. How many lawyers here do wills? Okay. We'll have a sign-up sheet at the end for any of you that haven't got your wills yet. Okay. And then they're thinking about, okay, the wills, and oh, I wonder how mom and dad are doing. I wonder if they're going to be okay in retirement, and am I going to have to help them out? Now, this may not be a reality for some of you sitting in this room, but again, put yourself in the mindset of the employee. Try and put yourself in their shoes, because they may not be nearly as fortunate as some of us in this room. Now, retirement is there. They're thinking about retirement. They want to deal with retirement. But one of the big problems that they have is, what am I going to do in retirement? When am I going to retire? How am I going to have enough money? But even if I have enough money, what am I going to do? I don't know what retirement looks like. And yeah, I got to deal with that pension, but I've got to make sure that I've got my taxes done and that's taken care of. And then, of course, I got to be investing the money somehow. I can't just leave it all sitting in a savings account. And who can help me with this? Where do I go to start? So one of the things we need to be thinking about is how do we clear these clouds out of the minds of the participants so that when you want to be talking about the pension and you want to be talking about the aspects of the pension, they're hearing your message. They can take that message and put it into context because now they understand their financial realities, how they're going to pay their bills, how they're going to deal with their debts, how they're going to put their kids through college, how they're going to take care of mom and dad. Part of that is understanding what is retirement going to look like?